You don't care.
Oh, you can still do something about it.
There's nothing I can do. What can I do?
You can get my fucking money.
How?
Some other way.
What way?
Same way you got your money. Shh. Lower your fucking voice.
You telling me to lower my voice?
Lower your fucking voice.
Cocksucker.
Don't call me a cocksucker.
Fuck you.
Don't you fucking dare. Look, you're here for fraud. You stole money.
I stole money.
Yeah, I stole money. Okay, fine, in a different way, but still, I want what I'm fucking owed.
You people.
What'd you say?
Oh, my God.
What did you say?
Oh, come on, what I said. What the fuck did I say? I don't know
you
what
people.
I said.
You said you people. What does that fucking mean, you people?
I'm done talking about this.
You people?
I'm done.
You're done?
I'll rip your fucking head off. Fucking hey! Hey, guys! Hold that! Hey, I'll fucking kill you! I'll fucking kill you! What the fuck?
Right then, you knew it was all gonna fall apart.
I am sitting in a room full of fucking idiots. You dumb motherfuckers! You know what you did? You take Johnny O'Rourke's kid and you put him on as general organizer, pay him 36 fucking grand. At the same time, you let him sell insurance to his fucking father's... To his fucking father's... To his fucking father's locals! Damn it! How do you do that? How stupid can you be? That fucking cocksucker Kennedy has got his nose up my ass everywhere I go. You don't know that they're hounding me. They're looking at everything I do, and you let this happen in public? You're giving it to him. I'm going to jail. You understand? I'm going to prison. Because of you. You dumb motherfuckers. This is what you wanted. You wanted to put me in jail. Tell me now. So I could kill you. Right here. Right here! Where are you going?
I mean, where am I going? I fucking quit. That's where I'm going.
What are you quitting for?
But wait, you're gonna call me a motherfucker? You can talk to them like that. You can't talk to me like that.
No, that didn't apply to you. What are you saying?
No. You gotta let me know it didn't apply to me. I'm right there standing.
I don't even see you standing there.
I was standing right there, Jimmy. What are you talking about?
But it didn't apply to you. What else can I say?
You got a problem? You pull me aside.
Yeah.
You don't insult me, then you say it didn't apply to me.
How am I going to pull you aside? I didn't even see you there. Oh, come on, Frank. You know me better than that. You just know me better than that. Please. Come on. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Come on. Come on. Why would I ever say anything like that to you? I'm controlling everything. Don't worry about it. But certainly, you know.
A frustrated Justice Department and the Attorney General, Robert Kennedy.
Get the gun out of his hand! That was not a real gun, was it?
How'd that gun get in? How'd it get in, Neil?
It wasn't my fault. I don't know.
Oh, my Chuck. Hey, it's my son. That's my kid. I raised this kid. You see him? You see what he did? You know, I tell you this. He shot at me, and it was like a pellet or something. I didn't feel it. I just felt a little impact, like I was shot. Not even with a BB gun. Something even later. But I charged him. And so did Chuck, if you notice. I taught him well. You charge a guy, always charge a guy with a gun. With a knife, you run away. Yeah. Run away from a knife. So you charge with a gun, with a knife, you run. That's right. Hey, I run!
I know it sounds crazy, but I got a message from a higher power telling me to shoot Jimmy Hoffa.
Come with me. A lot of nuts in Nashville, Frank.
Come on down, Frank.
Yeah, I got one of them with me now, see.
Get down here, Frank. Eddie Parton, you know the guy from Baton Rouge? He's here with me.
Yeah.
Atlantic City. Came to his mother's joint to pinch him. You and another guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
You ever been to Atlantic City?
I was once for a trip.
What kind of trip?
A religious retreat to Ocean City. We spent the day on the boardwalk. Religious retreat. I bet you're playing now.
When you moved to Cicero?
1922.
From where?
Minnesota, Ortonville. We owned a wheat farm. It went belly up.
How do you fuck up a wheat farm?
Brown rust. It rots the leaf.
You think I'm stupid?
No successful man is stupid.
Are you successful?
Not really.
Why?
I get the feeling my boss doesn't like me.
See? We're all friendly here. On your knees.
What?
On your knees. I ain't reaching up that high.
This is a mistake.
Open your mouth.
I'm not.
Open wide. There we go.
Al, come on. Here.
What? They got maid service. You got any of this?
Let him spill the beans. I want to hear it.
Ralph, count to 30. Aloud.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Start.
5,
I worked for you for 7
6,
years.
7.
I broke heads in Cicero. I set up Dino Bannon. I make my number every week.
12.
Maybe I'm a federal agent. Maybe I'm a
14,
bigamist. Maybe I'm a murderer on the
16,
run. Believe what you want. There's no way I can stop you.
18,
But that's not what matters now.
It's not?
20,
What matters is
21,
this man comes in from out of town.
23,
Starts telling Capone what to do about Capone's
25,
business and Capone's
26,
house.
27,
and
28, 29, 30.
I'd say that's pretty goddamn disrespectful.
You can rule by fear, or you can rule by love. Remember that, if you're ever in charge. Get him a drink.
You've got a pair.
What did I say?
You don't remember?
I need a men's room.
Get me sick.
I may have soiled myself.
Hit me again. Pick it up for Mr. Torrio. Give me a short one.
Music, right? Torio's man.
Yeah, I know you.
Joe Miller, I'm with Dini O'Banion.
Uh-huh, okay. Beer's better here, huh?
How's that?
They say the beer's better here, down on the south side.
Now, before you sold all that stuff that we just described in 166, $600 million of Timberwolf securities is what you sold. Before you sold them, this is what your sales team were telling to each other. Got it? 105?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Look what your sales team was saying about Timberwolf. Boy, that Timberwolf was one shitty deal. They sold that
Mr.
shitty
Chairman,
deal.
this email was from the head of the division, not the sales force.
Whatever it was, it's an internal Goldman document.
This was an email to me in late June.
Right. And you
after
sold
the
Timberwolf.
transaction.
No. You sold Timberwolf after as well.
We did trades after that.
Yeah, okay. It's
And
the trades after.
Some context
Yeah.
might be helpful.
The context, let me tell you, the context is mighty clear. June 22 is the date of this email. Boy, that Timberwolf was one shitty deal. How much of that shitty deal did you sell to your clients after June 22, 2007?
Mr. Chairman, I don't know the answer to that, but the price would have reflected levels that they wanted to invest
Oh, of course.
at that time.
But they don't know it's a, you didn't tell them you thought it was a shitty deal.
Well, I didn't say that.
No. Who did? Your people, internally. You knew it was a shitty deal, and that's what your
And again,
email shows.
I think the context, the message that I took from
His head is rotting. A week old, at least. Yet some of these bodies are fresh.
And we've walked into a trap.
Shield wall! Form a single square! Protect Lord Codis! All right, let's go. Shield wall! We're here to help them. Why they tell
This is Reese's doing. They say his spells have the power to cloud minds.
Turn comrades against each other.
King's Guards, around Lord Curtis!
I'm Ferris. Do we die in this battle?
My time's not come yet. Not sure about yours.
That's comforting.
I think he wants a challenge.
Hercules' fists have been dipped in the blood of the Hydra! Lethal to anyone but him! Watch!
Did you see that?
The gods fight on our side! Hercules! 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 Hercules!
Hickok 45, we have a couple of jewels. 43 from World War II. Thanks to the Mosin Crate, lent us this firearm. We've never had one here, so looking forward to that. And you got the old Mauser, okay, bolt gun, and brought it out because, it's, maybe I shouldn't say the old and the new. The Mauser has actually outlasted, hasn't it, the G43 type action, or at least this specific action, because I don't know, as John was pointing out earlier, I don't think anybody is duplicating the G43 right now as being the ultimate semi-automatic rifle out there, whereas how many bolt guns are still using the Mauser action out there? Yeah, it will never die. So great piece of hardware, right? So great gun. However, during World War II, the Nazis were running into semi-automatic rifles, especially when they invaded the Soviet Union, and they stepped up their own programs in developing a semi-automatic rifle. The Gevir 41, and this, of course, the Gevir 43, G43. It's kind of hard to talk about G43. People think you're talking about a Glock, right? But it is the Gevir, which means rifle 43. And then 43 is when it went into production, I think in the fall of 43. The 41, the G41, which preceded this, especially the one made by Walther, was okay, but it had the gas system was based on capturing the gas out here at the muzzle, and it just didn't work all that well. And this was definitely an improvement of that in 1943. And of course, things were getting pretty hairy for Germany in 43, 44, and this one was made in 44. So, it worked, and it was a pretty nice rifle, but it's kind of rough. Look at that bolt. They didn't even finish the bolt. They didn't, they were they were under fire, as we say, and so they mainly tried to get the rifles made and didn't worry too much about the cosmetics. Now this one is, according to the Mosin Crate, is all matching except for the stock, although the stock is original. It was made by Walther in 44. Right, so it fires, guess what round it fires? Same one that one fires, 7.92 by, 57. So the 8mm, okay? And we're shooting some federal ammo here, factory ammo. We appreciate the help from Federal, providing ammo. We also appreciate the support we get from Bud's Gun Shop. Lots of used guns there too. Not one of these right now, but we appreciate the support from Bud's Gun Shop. So anybody helps us out, we are immensely grateful. And today we're immensely grateful, especially to the Mosin Crate for lending us this, because I've never held one, I guess, and I've definitely not fired one. There's my cue, right? Let's fire one. All right, and we'll talk about it. We might even field strip it. All right, put the magazine in. I have fired at some. I didn't want to fire too much. I'm advised to use factory ammo or maybe some Romanian surplus, which I have some. It's really dirty stuff, but if we need to, I've got some. This has worked okay. I had a little trouble, but I re-lubed it, and cleaned it, and then it seemed to do all right, so we'll see how it does. All right, so let's let the bolt fly forward. The spring seems kind of weak on it. I don't know how natural that is. All right, it's hot. I was advised not to use the safety unless I needed to. It's pretty fragile on these guns. But the G43, good looking gun, isn't it? I mean, that is a good looking gun. I always notice that after I get it loaded, right? All right, let's see if it'll work. We have, as usual, a target-rich environment. Why don't we just start with the red plate? Right. Nice. Let's try the little one. Tell you what, it's ready for war. There's a squirrel running up that tree, but I'm not going to hurt him. Let's go for some cinder block over there. Right. And it's 2-liter time. Wow. Unlike an 8mm, let's get another one. Click. Let's don't say we did. All right. Didn't count my rounds. Yeah, I was empty. Okay. Let's take it over here and take a look before it gets too dirty. So she's working now. I made sure she was lubed well, and maybe that's what it needs. Okay. All right. So, like I say, 1944. You notice I have that sight up pretty high. Yeah, based on point of impact, I needed to raise the sight like that. Even at 80 yards, 75 yards, I discovered, because I was shooting, low or high, I don't know. I've lost track of where it was going, but it was going way off on elevation-wise. And so, like I say, the Germans were really trying to put together their version of the Garand. This is sometimes referred to as the Nazi Garand or the German Garand. You know, a rifle, full power rifle holding 8 to 10 rounds, kind of like a Garand, isn't it? And it really is a good feeling rifle. I meant to put this back on. I didn't want to start out with it on there because I know it makes it ugly, but it gives me length of pull. That's why I had my finger kind of weird shape there, if you noticed. You just can't fully appreciate, if you haven't fired rifles a lot, or if you're normal, you're not exceptionally tall, how much adding that much to your stock can do for you. Or if you have a problem with stocks being too long, if just taking off that much, it just makes it a much more pleasurable experience, okay? The 8mm round, I've never thought it was very hard kicking at all, and in a semi-automatic especially. So sometimes it's nice to have one of these for both, absorbing recoil and for added length. With 8mm, it's just always struck me as a pleasurable round to shoot. I really like the 8mm. So anyway, they got busy and improved the G41, like I said, and they changed the gas system as much as anything, and then the detachable magazine. And you will see this is very similar to the SVT 40. Let's see. Okay, now you do need to use the safety to dismantle it. Okay, you pull this back. It's got a little latch there. You push that, holds the bolt back. Okay, and you push this button, and it just lifts out. Okay, bolt and everything. I'll just carrier. Let's lay that there. And then I'll show you the gas system. I may not take it out, but I'll show you it. And this stock is, like I said, it's not the original stock to the gun, but it's an original stock, and it's broken up here, I noticed. There's a piece that's loose there. All right, but that won't affect what we're doing. I've had it apart, 2 or 3 times. And you see the gas system. If you recall, if you have, we have a video on the SVT-40, and it is just so much like that, because I remember struggling and taking it apart, even in the video. It's a 3-piece system, just like this. You got this in the middle, you take out, and this little sleeve slides over the gas, and your spring, and of course it contacts back here, the carrier, the bolt, so common for this type of gas system. And there it is. So it's not too hard to clean. I cleaned this as best I could. I thought maybe that's why I had a malfunction or two on the second magazine. Oh, yeah, put that back on. Let's see, I think put this back in. So for those of you who are familiar with the SVT-40, or I guess the 38 as well, but not this firearm, you're seeing the similarities there, right? The Soviet, SVT 40. And as I recall, maybe it was just me and not being as familiar with it, but it was more awkward to take apart than this is. And I'll have to look at that video, but it was definitely more of a chore, as I recall. It's really neat, these old guns like this, and taking them apart, field stripping them, and learning how they worked, a little bit of the history. It's just, as I've said before, these firearms like this that were actually used in World War II. This firearm was used, and here we are shooting it on the range and experimenting with it. Now, actually, the more difficult part for me has been getting this carrier back just right. It's actually quite simple, I think, but where I'm a little simple-minded, I've struggled a little. There we go. There, it just drops down in, okay? And take the safety off, and it's ready to go. You see how the bolt locks back there. Okay, little button there on the side. All right, and again, kind of rough. It was desperate times, when these things were made. So it's ready to go, isn't it? So actually, it's not too bad to field strip. Now I used when I was having the malfunction is when I was using the clips to load it, and so then, I don't know, maybe just a coincidence. So after that, I just loaded them like I normally would a box magazine, and I didn't have that problem, so I'm gonna stick with that. But you can load it through the clips just like you use in the bolt gun there. Now's when I'll have trouble probably. Yeah, the Mauser 8mm is a pretty neat round. It's powerful, but yet, and it's large. It's larger than 30, and it just works. And it's not exceptionally loud like a lot of rounds. It just pierces your ears, and massive recoil. Yet it's pretty powerful. So let's shoot a couple more times here. Don't want to overdo it. It's a relic. It's a piece of history. All right, so take yourself back to 1943, and this is what people were carrying. You got your well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, let's shoot the target here. Make sure I got her back together right. Okay. Well, that might be too far away. Wow. You believe that guy actually got a couple of bullseyes at that long range. Let's try a bullseye on a clay pot. How about the big clay pot? Click. Make sure we're clear. Yeah, we're empty. All right. I think I just had maybe 9 rounds in there. I don't know. Boy, look at that thing. That's a beauty. You can see 44 right there. And the serial number on the bolt matches the receiver there. And it's cool. That is cool. This is, I believe he said this was the original magazine. I'm not sure. I've not seen a serial number on it. Might have just meant an original mag. I'm not sure. But anyway, it looks old, that's for sure. What else do I know about it as I load this mag? Let me pull that bolt back, lock it back. Okay. Like I say, they were facing the SVT 38s, the SVT 40, and the Soviet Union, and stepped up the production on these things. And some of them, there's a lot of sad history, of course, with World War II. Some of these were made in the concentration camps, using the slave labor. And as I did some reading, that there was some sabotage involved too, which is cool, because it's mostly the Jewish population in the concentration camps were doing some things to render the rifles inoperable as they may, if they could, like not drilling the gas ports all the way through, and some different things like that. With obviously lots of risk to themselves, I'm sure. Of course, in those conditions, they were already at incredible risk of dying any second, right? But so just the history of that time period is very interesting. It's very sad, very tragic. But we do have relics, from that time period, and the way that's good.
One moment, one moment. What is it? Shit. What you're up to? Walk? I saw it only now. Sure, I'll get ready. I'll join in like 5 minutes. 2 minutes. What? In the same castle. Household. In fact. Feel the power. Okay. I'll be now. I'll be there in a minute. No. Go down. Not down.